Dr. Mushtaba has taken renal function tests with you, and he must have given you some idea about the clearance of substances from the kidney. But this is a very important issue, and I would like to discuss this issue again with you. Okay? Now, it's a little difficult concept, but very interesting one also. Please. Yeah.
I'm just asking to be called.
Okay. Renal clearance or the plasma clearance. This term you have heard so many times. Okay? Plasma clearance means that you are clearing the plasma volume. First of all, please look at the concept. You are clearing the plasma volume by removing a specific substance from the plasma. So actually you are looking at how much volume of plasma is cleared in 1 minute from that particular substance. The substance is definitely going in urine. We are talking about the kidney. Okay? We are talking about the renal clearance, only this organ here. Okay? So when the plasma is passing through the kidney, some portion of the plasma is filtered, you know that. Okay? Takriban 125 ml is filtered. Okay? Out of that 125 ml which is filtered, okay, some will be reabsorbed and a little amount will pass into the urine. Okay? The most of the plasma is coming back into the body again. Okay? You have to see that once the plasma is filtered, how much load of the substance has gone into the urine and how much volume of plasma is cleared every minute. So when you are talking about the plasma clearance, please, you are not looking at the concentration of the substance in urine or looking at the substance in urine. You are actually looking at the plasma volume, how much volume of plasma is cleared. Your focus is the volume of the plasma. How is volume of the plasma cleared? By the removal of the substance. But you are not looking at the removal of the substance. You are looking at the plasma volume. So by definition, it is the volume of the plasma which is cleared or cleaned of any substance or particular substance per minute. Okay? Now, different substances have different behavior in the kidney. You know that. Once the substance is filtered and it passes, it's possible that the substance is not reabsorbed at all. Not at all reabsorbed. Once filtered, it passes and passes and passes, and all the load of the substance is going into urine. Alright? Second possibility is that substance is filtered, some of the substance is reabsorbed, and some of the substance is passing in urine. Mumkin nus or mumkin in different proportions, like this. Okay? So this substance is partly reabsorbed and partly excreted in urine. Alright? The first example was the substance was filtered, but it was not reabsorbed at all. It was completely passing in urine. So when you think about example number 1, it means that substance which is filtered and passing completely in urine, is an ideal substance by which you can measure the filtration function of the kidney also, because it is not reabsorbed, it is not secreted, it is not going here and there, it is alcohol passing in urine. It means that is the best substance which can be used for checking the GFR or checking the function of the kidney, isn't it? So, Shabab, any substance which is filtered freely and it is completely passing in urine, no reabsorption, no secretion, is the best substance to check the ability of the GFR or the function of the kidney. Alright? So always remember, the substance should not be reabsorbed, it should not be secreted, it is filtered and passing straight. That's the best one for, yeah. Creatinine is very close, but creatinine is practically the ideal substance. There are some other substances, inulin and mannitol. Inulin is filtered completely, freely, not reabsorbed at all, straight passing in urine, not secreted by the kidney. Khalas, that's the best one. Mannitol, same thing. Inulin, same thing. Okay? There are some other substances also. Creatinine is white substance in the body, okay, which is very close to this property. It is filtered, it is passing in urine, it is not reabsorbed, and slight secretion is there, but that secretion we don't consider really. So the best substance which is most qareeb for measuring the GFR, any endogenous substance, that is creatinine. So if you check the creatinine clearance, it means you are checking the glomerular filtration rate. If the creatinine clearance is normal, our GFR is normal. If the creatinine clearance is low, our GFR is low and bad and kidney is having trouble. Alright? So creatinine is the best index as far as the endogenous substance is concerned or inside substance is concerned. It means you don't have to inject mannitol, you don't have to inject inulin for that purpose. You just measure the creatinine and that is giving you approximately a very good idea about the GFR. So the best substance is creatinine, alright? Now, another substance, it's filtered, please hear my words, filtered and completely reabsorbed, yani not going into urine. You have the example, glucose, amino acids, or vitamins, taqriban, okay? They are completely back into the body, alright? So it means plasma is not cleared of this substance, yani plasma is again taking back this substance, isn't it? Alright? Now you tell me, give me an example of a substance which is having 100%, I am asking percent clearance, 100% clearance. Can you give creatinine taqriban or give any substance from outside? Inulin and mannitol. Very good. Give an example of substance which has 0% clearance. It's glucose or amino acids like this. Very nice. And give some examples of substances which have taqriban 50% clearance of between 0 and 100 clearance. What will you give? All urea, sodium, chloride, potassium. You can ask anything and you can say anything about it really. Alright? All these substances between 0 and 100. Okay? 0 means plasma is not cleared, yani substance is going back. Yani glucose, yani amino acids. 100% means all the substance is passing in urine and plasma is cleared of that substance. The makhsus volume of plasma is cleared. It means you are talking about inulin, mannitol, or from inside creatinine like this. Okay? Now, normal GFR is taqriban 125 ml per minute. We know that. Okay? Now, if the clearance rate of any substance is 125 ml, 100% clearance, equal to that, what will you call it? 125 ml. It is, now, what will be this substance doing? It is filtered. Is it reabsorbed?
No.
Is it secreted?
No.
It's passing straight in urine? Great. Thank you very much. That's the perfect answer. A substance has a clearance rate of like 300 ml per minute. This substance is filtered and it is secreted also. Okay? And it is not reabsorbed. Yes. So this is going there. Okay? If a substance has a rate of taqriban 600 or above, like 600 or 625, what is that value? 600, 625? It's the plasma flow, renal plasma flow. It is equal to the plasma flow. Then this substance is filtered, not reabsorbed, and completely secreted. Yani, when the substance is coming in kidney, this substance is completely secreted and it is not going back into the blood, the venous blood. Right? Okay? Now, if a substance is having a clearance rate of 0 ml per minute, then what do you say? If a substance is having a clearance between 0 and 125, what does it mean? 0 and 125. It is partly, it is filtered, it is partly reabsorbed, and it is partly passing in urine. You got the idea? Lovely. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, few definitions, one or two definitions. This is what you need basically. Okay. Few definitions only. The first definition is tubular load. Tubular load. Okay. What do you mean by tubular load, Shabab? Tubular load. Yeah. Load means wazn or the quantity, sir. No, load is quantity. When you're talking about the amount of a substance actually, okay? You're not looking at the water. You are looking at the solute, any specific solute, makhsus solute. Mumkin sodium, potassium, glucose, urea, uric acid, creatinine, anything, any solute, okay? I'm asking about the meaning of the word tubular load. Tubular load, amount of a particular substance coming into the tubule in wajed minute. The total quantity of substance coming into the, yani filtered into the tubule in wajed minute. It is a rate, yani per minute. So the quantity of the substance, total quantity of substance filtered into the tubules in 1 minute is called the tubular load. Okay, it will be in milligrams per minute, sir. Milligrams per minute, or it will be in milliequivalents per minute. Depending upon you are talking about sodium, potassium, etc., then it is milliequivalents. If you are talking about glucose, amino acids, or some other thing, you will talk about milligrams per minute. Okay, so load means how much quantity of a substance is filtered and coming into the tubules in 1 minute. Okay, you can easily calculate. There is a formula, easy formula. Concentration of substance in the plasma multiplied by the GFR. Bas, khalas. What is the concentration molecule in the plasma? It's coming from plasma. It's coming into the tubules. So measure the concentration in plasma and multiply by the GFR value. You will get the load of that substance which is coming in urine. If you want to know about how much is the excretion of any substance in urine, excretion, how much substance is passing in urine, excretion, urine concentration multiplied by urine rate, bas khalas, very easy. Urine concentration, how much substance is molecule in urine, concentration is maktub. And how much urine is formed per minute, urine flow rate in wahid minute. You multiply it, you will get the excretion rate of the substance. So tubular load is the filtration actually rate, or how much it is filtered, and excretion rate is the concentration in urine multiplied by the urine flow rate or urine formation rate. Alright? Now, you want to know about a substance which is secretion of a substance, and you want to know about the reabsorption also. You want to know how can I calculate the reabsorption of any substance. Very easy. Reabsorption. Okay? Think about it. Filtration minus excretion. So, this is known as the reabsorption. And what about secretion? Opposite. Secretion. Secretion means excretion minus filtration. Whatever is molecule is coming from secretion. Very easy formula. Okay, it's very easy, straight formula. Okay, you don't have to bother. Secretion of substance, reabsorption of substance, filtration of a substance, and finally excretion of substance. We talked about 4 different formulae. Okay, tubular load and filtration. Then we talked about excretion rate. Then we talked about the secretion of a substance, and then we talked about the reabsorption of the substance. Okay. When you do the tutorial exercise, you will see it. You will do the calculation yourself, inshallah, and that will be very easy. Last point about a very special process called transport maximum. Tubular transport maximum. This is the last issue, okay? And few minutes. Transport maximum. What is the word telling you, Shabab? When I say tubular transport maximum, means what is coming in your mind? Yes, maximum amount of transportation per minute. Again, it's a rate. How much of any particular substance is reabsorbed in wahid minute? But Shabab, take care of one point. This substance is using a carrier. It is not simple diffusion, because maximum word comes in a carrier state only. When you are taking any substance by the carrier, then there is a limitation, there is a had, because carriers are makhsus in number. When you are using all the carriers, you are doing the maximum job. Simple diffusion has no had. Okay, it's not mahdud really. It go on and on and on and on and on like this. Okay, but your carrier transport, yani active transport and facilitated diffusion, these two are dependent on carriers, and they will show the transport maximum in the kidney. So transport maximum is the maximum amount of substance which can be reabsorbed by the carriers per minute. You can take it for glucose, you can take it for amino acid, you can take it for any substance which is passing by the secondary active transport or by the facilitated diffusion, right? So keep it in mind. The most important clinical example, last example I'm giving, and I'm closing the discussion here, okay? The last example is about glucose, which is clinically the most important one. You know, glucose is filtered in the kidney, and normally glucose is completely reabsorbed. We know that. If the person has normal kidneys and the normal limit or the threshold, okay, glucose is carried by the carriers. And if we are normal, we have the normal number of carriers. It means there should be a hut for the glucose reabsorption. There must be a value of tubular transport maximum. Okay? Ideally, this value is, if you check the value experimentally for the kidneys, all of us, normal human beings, healthy human beings, the value for the glucose reabsorption, maximum tubular transport for the glucose for reabsorption is taqriban 320 milligrams in wajed minute. How much? It's 320 milligrams. But when we check it experimentally for all the nephrons, when we consider that all the nephrons are healthy and all the nephrons are working at the same time and all the nephrons are working maximally, and all transporters mawjood in the nephrons are having maximum work, then you calculate the glucose reabsorption. It is taqriban 320. Okay? Experimental value or the theoretical value when we calculate it. But if I check your tubular transport maximum for the glucose or my tubular transport maximum for the glucose, I will see that if my glucose becomes, the load of glucose in the tubules becomes 220 taqriban or 225, 220 or 225, from there the glucose absorption is khalas, complete, and then it will start passing in urine. Yani after 220 it passes in urine. Okay, up to 220 khalas, no problem, it will come back. But if my concentration in the kidney tubules, yani tubular load, is more than 220, practically speaking, for healthy persons, it will start passing in urine. As you increase the load more and more, it will pass more and more in urine. Okay, so now there is a difference. Our ideal value for the glucose reabsorption is 320, but our practical value, what we see practically, is 220. But why? What is the problem in the ideal value and the practical values? No, the job is only in the proximal tubules, Abdurrahman. Listen now. Yes, actually at any given time, all nephrons are not working completely and all nephrons are not working equally. Some are working less, some are working more. Some pumps are working, some are not working, like this. Okay, so it means in person, healthy person, when you take practically, your ideal value will not be achieved and you will have a lower value. What we have to accept is our practical value. What is the practical value for the human beings? 220 milligrams. Yani clinically we believe that once our glucose load is 220 or more in the tubules, it is the time of starting of glucose in urine. It will start appearing in urine. Okay? So less than 220, no problem. Now one more thing. When the tubular load is 220, Shabab, in the tubules, 220 milligram per minute in the tubules, what will be the concentration of glucose in the plasma? That is, no, it will not be the same if you just do it, okay? That will be 180. Shuf, in the plasma, the value is 180. In the tubules at that time, the load will become how much? 220. Why? Because you are multiplying 180 by GFR. That's why you will get more than 180 in the tubules. That's the reason. So, when your plasma level is 180, near the money, please. At the same time, if you check in the tubules, the load will be 220. So, there is a relationship between 180 in the plasma and 220 in the tubules. When plasma is 180, automatically the tubules will contain how much glucose? 220 milligrams. You will calculate that. Okay? It means, if I ask you, what is your plasma threshold level? What is your plasma threshold level at which it appears in urine? At which glucose starts appearing in urine? This is called renal threshold in plasma. Okay? So in the plasma, your level is near the money, 180. In the plasma, it's 180. And at that time, your tubules will have how much? 220. And that is the point. So if I say, what is the tubular load at which glucose starts appearing in urine? You will say 220. But if I say, what is the renal threshold in plasma at which glucose starts appearing in urine? Then you will say 180. So please understand the difference between 180 in the plasma and 220 in the tubules. Okay? 180 is reflecting 220 actually. 180 means the load will be 220 at that time. Am I clear about that? Right, Shabab? So this is the relationship. So in diabetes, what do you think? the renal plasma threshold, is it normal, decreased or increased? In diabetes, what will happen to the renal threshold?
I think it's increased.
Again, think, in diabetes mellitus, is it the problem with the renal threshold with the kidney or the problem with the glucose level? So why are you saying that? No problem with the kidney transporters. In the diabetes, the problem is not in the kidney transporters, it's like us. Normal, okay? The only thing is, you are having kathir amount of glucose in the plasma. You are going above 180 level. This is the problem. So, please, diabetics have the renal threshold like us normally. The only problem in diabetics is that their blood glucose level is very, very high. It is crossing 180, and that's why they have glucose coming in urine, okay? So, whenever our threshold is crossed, 180 is crossed, we will see that the glucose will start coming in urine. So your plasma threshold, again I am saying, plasma threshold is 180, and at that threshold, your tubular load of glucose is 220 milligrams per minute. Is that clear? Alright Shabab, that's it. This is all practicality we need. I hope this discussion is clear to you. The brief one. Thank you very much. Okay? For example, I'll give you the example of glucose. Abdul Majid is asking one question. I am just answering the question, okay? Abdul Majid, I want to calculate the tubular load of glucose, for example, okay? My glucose concentration is 100 milligrams per 100 ml in plasma. 100 milligrams per 100 ml, okay? Yani, it is 1 milligram per 1 ml. If I say 100 milligrams in 100 ml of plasma, so change it to 1 milligram in 1 ml of plasma. Sir, is same thing, alright? Multiply this 1 milligram per ml by 125, okay? When you multiply it by 125, how much glucose is coming in 1 minute? 125. In plasma it is 100, but now you see the tubular load, it will become how much? 125 milligram. Yani your tubular load is more than your plasma concentration, because you multiply it by the GFR value. Alright? Is that clear? Sir, right on time. Enter, please. Thank you very much. We are done.